Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this webinar on Living Wisely, Living Well. This is the first of 2019. So let me take this opportunity to wish you a very, very happy new year. And it's just a second. Okay. And this is our first webinar for 2019 from this book, which is Living Wisely, Living Well. Swami Kriyananda ji has written one nice quote for every day of the year. And if you haven't yet had that book, that will be a very nice purchase for this year. Also, there's an app that we have developed, Living Wisely, Living Well. Again, it's another nice way to start your day. This reading today is very short, very simple. It says, smile not only with your lips, but also with your eyes. Smile with your eyes, not only with your lips. Uh, and for the next maybe 20, 25, half an hour or so, we will try and see what Swami wants to say with this reading to us. This is the time of the year when there is a lot of resolutions and then a lot of good energy flows through, isn't it? Everyone is probably just trying to get rid of some baggage or the other and then trying to aspire for something more in this year. And it is not just, I think, time or something like that, like something special happens on 1st January of every year. But I think it is a collective group energy, which everyone sort of just adds to that. And that's why as we go and try and find some inspiration through this reading, I think the first thing we can just decide for ourselves that could be a gift that we can give to ourselves, like just smile more and more. There's a talk that Paramahansa Yogananda ji has given. I think it's also available on CD, called Becoming a Smile Millionaire. And that could be our goal for 2019. I don't know about whether in our businesses or in our lives we can become millionaire in this year. And that could be one of your goals. But certainly this is a worthwhile goal, to become a smile millionaire. And in that talk, while I was trying to study for this one, he says, I like technical topics. And this, he says, becoming a smile millionaire or talking about smile, Paramahansa Yogananda ji said it's a technical topic. And I was really confused, like, why is he saying that it's a technical topic? Smile is such a natural thing. And then what is he going to make technical out of it? And then he continued. And in fact, there are a few things that he actually made, which I will share this evening, and then see if we also can dive a little bit more deeply into that. Does everybody know how to smile? The answer to that would be yes, is it not? And like we take pictures, this is a selfie era, and it's like, smile, please, and then everybody knows what to do, isn't it? So it's not something very esoteric in that sense. So what is the technicality? So I just want us to take one pause and then look at, this is a very short reading, no? So we don't have to think a lot about what is he trying to say. So like, why do we smile? Do we know that answer? When is it that we smile? And these are the something. So if when I'm asking these questions, I also um, request everyone to just reflect on, really, when was the last time I smiled and for what reason? You know, is it told to us how do we smile? If we go to a painting class, or even for that matter, if someone asks, okay, draw a picture of someone smiling, with a simplest picture will be a circle and then the tiny eyes, and there's this nice big smile that we draw. It's something like this. Why do we draw it like that? Why is it like the sad face, which is normally what it is called? Why it is not a representation of a smile? you know Again, just for a moment, do an exercise with me at this very moment. Just close your eyes for a moment. Just keep your face very straight. Don't worry about whether anybody watching or anything like that. And just observe how you feel at this very moment. And just get a mental note of how it feels with this straight face of yours. And just now try a little bit of gentle smile. Don't loud smile, but just change your face so that it causes your face to look like a smiley face. And as you are staying in that, just try and feel what changes inside yourself when you make that face. And you can open your eyes. There was something different, wasn't it? Meaning we can't, when we keep a straight face, it's sort of a very stable and very centering thing. But the moment we try and even make that face a smiley face, something changes inside, in a nice way, if I may say, an uplifting way. That something has to change. And probably that's why it is very, very, very difficult when we are sad to even smile, to even make that face. Meaning, there is something even changes physically when we are trying to smile. So different times when we talk about smile, again, we're not talking about this is when we are just trying to be a sarcastic smile or something which is more in terms of like a greedy smile or a lustful smile. These are more like a genuine smile we talk about. And what does it mean? A smile is just not an outward expression, but can we say it is an outward expression of something is happening already inside? you know when if you, and that's why when we are sad, it is not easy to smile. But when something is happening good to us, a natural outcome of what is happening good inside is that we tend to smile. uh, and then when Swami is saying here, not only through lips, he's saying like smile through eyes. And then what that, again, if you look at the pictures, we probably cannot see it here, but the picture of Lahari Mahashay. And then there is a very gentle smirk on his face. He is meditating. And then there is a gentle smile on his face. And that is what he says, like when there is a joy that you feel inside your heart, the soul smiles through your heart. And then that joy gets expressed through your eyes and then shows on your face as a very, very, very faint smile of it. I was uh, with my parents a few weeks ago or a few months ago, and one of my cousins, she had a very small child. And I was having fun with that child. She is around 1 year old now, and then she wanted to see a bird outside. And one of her favorite birds is a crow. Now, crow isn't necessarily many of our favorite birds. There's nothing really fascinating about it, isn't it? We are all adults. We like to go and see some rare birds, but she just somehow fascinated by crows. And her grandfather has also told her many things about the crow. And then just every time she says, I want to see a crow. And then she does some strange actions. Like, this is really slow. I was trying to tell her that, no, no, you have to go really fast. Otherwise, your crow won't be able to fly. But she just did it. Crow. I want to see a crow. And she was so genuinely interested. So I thought, okay, I'll take her. And then while we were going outside, I realized crows weren't necessarily in my consciousness, and I was not able to find them very easily. So I was getting a little anxious. I said, like, I must find a crow because I wanted to make her happy. And she was not necessarily crying or anything, but she wasn't quite interested in anything else. I was trying to distract her by showing something else, like a tree. So for some moment, she will get that attention, but her mind was very focused on finding a crow. So while we were making our journey and whatever it is, at a point I saw one. And the moment I saw, I said, like, look there. And then all of a sudden she looked and she, of course, recognized the crow. And then she forgot about the physical discomfort, whatever, because he was flying quite high. She almost just lifted her head all the way up and looking at it. And there was a big smile on her face. And just by looking at that smile, it just made me very, very happy about myself. There was like a greatest accomplishment. And I was then wondering, while I was thinking about this topic, what was so beautiful about that smile I saw on her face that just brought me a particular sense of satisfaction, a very great joy within myself also. Isn't that so? Like when we talk about that genuine smile, and that's why it's like I can compare it with a smile of that of a child. Even when a newborn is there, probably that's why every adult try to make an extra effort to bring a smile face on that child, because they are not much affected by their personal dislikes and likes, or for that matter, the condition of the environment. They're very well, the children are very well, the small children, babies are probably are very close to where they come from, where all of us we come from. And then that smile has something very genuine about it. Hmm. Uh, Talking about that journey is like, how do we now? We cannot go back in time and become babies again to produce that kind of a genuine smile so that we can feel connected. And isn't that the reason why we probably meditate? Why do we do that? It's because that hopefully helps us go closer to that source in that. Few years ago, we did a series here in Gurgaon. It's called Why I Meditate, and I was part of that series also. And then it was very interesting for me because I had an opportunity to hear people as they were really sharing their heart and saying like why do they meditate and how meditation has transformed their lives in their everyday activities that they do. And if you haven't watched it, I highly encourage you to go and watch them on YouTube. One of them I would like to mention today is by Brahmachari Devendra. And then we asked him the same question, why do you meditate? And he was talking about like when he meditates, it takes him very close. Some things again, he goes deep and then he can feel, he says, that joy inside him. There's no particular reason, it's just that he feels it. And then he said, when you open your eyes, you have to find an expression to that joy. The definition of Paramahansa Yogananda ji gave of God is Satchidananda, ever existing, ever conscious, ever new joy. And he says like the nature of Satchidananda is like something you want to share with. And Devendra was saying the same thing. It's like the moment you share that joy, it just comes as a natural smile on your face. And then he went on saying that at times when you have that kind of an experience and then you go for a walk after your meditation, for example, then all of a sudden you see that even people on the strangers respond to that smile and then they say namaste, not because you know them, not necessarily because you have any personal connection with them, but it is some things which is just naturally just flowing in abundance out of you, and it cannot get unnoticed by those in the vicinity. Now that's a wonderful smile, isn't it? And then that is what we want to cultivate. That is what Swami is inviting us, that just keep smiling. Let that soul smile just the way it is at times when you feel in meditation. I hope and I'm sure it is not a unique experience that Devendra was talking about, that probably all of us can resonate with it at some point or the other. Now, the challenge then becomes, how do we continue doing that? What if my meditations are not necessarily deep? And who are those culprits who basically stop me from experiencing that inner joy? Because the moment I understand that I don't feel that inner joy, there is no smile. There is nothing that I will be able to give. As they say, as Master says, that we can only give out what we ourselves possess, isn't it? Like if you have a huge truckload of goodies, there is nothing else you would like to do but just to share it out. But if you have only one thing, you would probably be just keep it to yourself. So the first and foremost thing would be is to just access that reservoir and then stop or avoid everything which basically takes you away from that reservoir. There's a poem that master has or the master has written autobiography of yogi Paramahansa Yogananda ji and Samadhi, where the line he says, from joy I came, for joy I live, in sacred joy I melt again. Now he says that is our reality. Again, when we talk about God, we're talking about Satchidananda. That is what our nature is. They have said many times, what is it that we are in reality is Satchidananda. Why would then anything be different based on our outward circumstances? And that is what we want to look at. When we meditate, we are there. We are there. We feel that joy, we feel that presence, we feel that the love, everything else is just immaterial. Anybody comes, doesn't matter whether we know them personally, it is coming out. What stops it then? and that is our habits. At times, what happens is, oh, but that was very nice meditation. Now I have something else to do. And then these are the habits, it is not something right or wrong, but the moment we basically turn our attention to something which is not what we are, we all of a sudden cut that flow. So the only thing when we say we have to do is just keep remembering. And then anytime, many times when we say, oh, why these difficulties and why these challenges? But these are the exact things that we can use to to the, uh, remind ourselves to the same thing. Like, okay, well, this is the time when we again go back and then connect myself to that particular source. When we talk about our own soul nature, you see, we talk about that child. The child had very clear understanding what she wanted. She didn't care about whether what the world thinks about crows and all those kind of a things. She exactly knew. When we talk about leading a spiritual life, we talked about the series of why meditate. There were many people doing different kinds of work. Now, how then will they have the same path? How will it basically be the same kind of a template for everyone? You know, what has Master said? Master says that you carry a portable paradise inside yourself. Now, is that true for all of us? Yes, it is true for all of us. Does that mean that we all are going to stop anything that we are doing and then just go meditate because we have to find that portable paradise? Probably part of our time, yes, till the time we really believe by our own experience that what he was saying is true. And then what next? The next is basically we still continue doing what we do. You know, there are a couple of uh, astrologers or Brigu or saints who also did astrology. Brigu, and then there is another one called who does a Nadi reading, Agastya. Now, they have written like a chart for each one of us and the journey of each individual soul. It is written on the paper, but there is a separate paper for each individual soul. What means is what our journey is written, but it is very, very, very individual. So then how do I reconcile all of them? What Master says is, don't worry about what everything else is happening. The only template, the only job is to start looking where you can find your answers, and that is inside. Where is this template stored? Where is the destiny or the chart that Agastya and Brigu were talking about stored? Is inside yourself. As the life is naturally unfolding, your life, the one that you are responsible for, how that is unfolding, just try to tune into that. Just the way the child wasn't bothered about if the world thinks that the crow has to be the best animal or not. She wanted to see it, she followed. And then the moment that particular desire, the soul call was fulfilled, she felt that ecstasy. And then the same comes even for us. We at times get bogged down by, okay, what are the right ways and wrong ways? No. When it is okay, there is a place for reason in all these things. But the first and foremost things is just tune into that and then see what is it that the soul wants. What is it that the gods want? And that's what they mean by saying, like, tune your will to God's will. And then the moment we are in attunement, then at times when you execute whatever you feel is the guidance, maybe it will become a very, very big thing. Maybe the world will appreciate what you do. Maybe the world will indifferent to what you do. Maybe at times there will be opposition. But if we choose to tune in to that guidance again and again, one thing will be for certainly ours, is that the solace of finding and following our own light, which God has put in every heart. So, and then when we follow that, what will be the natural outcome? You know, maybe not necessarily that will satisfy everyone in the world, but what we have satisfied is our highest dharma, is towards our masters, towards God, towards the one who has put that light inside us. And when we do that, There's a natural smile. There is natural acknowledgement from the universe, from the Lord of the universe. And then where will that smile you will feel? Again, as Master was saying, first in your heart. And then when you feel that, there's a natural extension to that, which comes as that beautiful smile of Lahari Mahashay. And not only when we meditate, even when we are doing our most mundane jobs into the world as it is given by Lord to each one of us. So, my dear friends, I think we will pause here. The last thought I want to share as we continue in this year, of course, we will try to keep the face smiling. And again, there is a little bit of physiological things there also, as we just talked about. If there is a problem, just force yourself. Master would say, just put your hands here and make your face a little bit smiling. So it will help change your energy. And then the moment our energies has been shifted, we use that again to tune back inside. Stay more close to that source which resides inside each one of our hearts, and keep listening, keep following, and then have the strength to follow that voice. Because the more we follow that voice, more we stay in tune with our masters, more we stay in tune with the universe. Nothing can stop us from laughing all the time, smiling all the time. Joy to you. Thank you for sharing this time with us. Jai Guru.